Hello everyone! Let's continue this conference discussion of social media data and cultural context. My name is Lara Khan, and my research was part of a social media mining course that I took during my second semester of graduate school in the fall of 2017 at Indiana University. Today I will be presenting my paper titled Chévere, Text-Based Twitter Patterns from Venezuelan Food Shortages. As we try to discover more about our world using data, we turn to popular micro-blogging services such as Twitter that yield big volumes of location and time reference data. Twitter users act as social sensors to form a collective crowdsourced reporter. This data can supplement or be a reliable alternative to traditional journalism. The data can yield insight into culture and can drive data-driven decisions. Today I will describe my research, which is the first known of its kind to use Twitter to examine the potential relationship between words and neighborhood locations within a 10-kilometer radius in Caracas, Venezuela during the food shortages event. I want to delve right into the three main findings. The first finding is that machine learning techniques can be used to determine whether certain words in a tweet may be linked to a city's municipality within a 10-kilometer radius. The second finding is that the tweet volume for the period studied may indicate the importance of the food shortages event. The third finding is that the top trending tweet in July 2017 may be related to the food shortages event, since it is about the Venezuelan government, who mainly controls the food supply. For those of you who do not know, Venezuela has had severe food shortages since 2013, and in May 2016, scarcity of basic food necessities rose to levels above 80%. The government mainly controls the media and stopped reporting shortage details in January 2015. Now that you have an overview of the main findings, I want to describe why I chose this research topic. Since social media mining can be used to uncover new information, I wanted to see if particular city municipalities had reactions to the food shortages over time and within a 10-kilometer radius. Tweets from Caracas were used since Caracas is more densely populated, and it has been shown that cities have a higher volume of tweets than rural areas. The social media data can provide different details about the food shortages event and another point of view in a country with challenges to free speech. My research is a specific use case of applied machine learning for studying patterns in cultural responses to an event. I think in the future we will see more applications of this type for studying cultural questions. Next, I want to talk about related research. Corkman uses about 3,000 Venezuelan events described on Twitter and logistic regression to predict civil unrest at a city level. He used 13 million tweets and the K-nearest neighbor algorithm to extract protest keywords in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, and compares the reactions to 4 other cities. Han uses 38 million tweets in about 400 North American cities to link keywords to a location within about 200 kilometers. There is no known social media data mining research that shows connections between city municipalities and keywords within a 10-kilometer radius. Now let's talk about features of the dataset and how it was encoded. The target output feature is municipality. Labels 1 through 5 were manually assigned to each of the municipalities in Caracas. A label of 1 was given to Baruta, a label of 2 to Chacao, a label of 3 to El Hatillo, a label of 4 to Libertador, and a label of 5 to Sucre. The final dataset has 2,833 tweets. Now that we've extracted the data, it's important to consider the assumptions of the data. The tweet text is an approximation of an event in the same way that the machine learning classifiers are an approximation of a pattern. Looking at this data does not disclose the entire socio-economic or political story of the food shortages. Understanding why people are tweeting is beyond the scope of this analysis. Big data describes the what and how, but not the why something is happening. The next assumption is that although Venezuela has the highest internet and Twitter users in South America, Twitter users only represent 28% of internet users, or almost 5 million Venezuelan users. Therefore, by its nature, Twitter excludes certain demographics that don't have internet access or do not use Twitter. Furthermore, a tweet hashtag is often loaded with cultural and political assumptions. Even though less than 1% of all tweets are tagged with geographical coordinates, they are an appropriate representative sample, as shown in prior research by he and Morsetter. Another assumption is that the user's Twitter location is considered to be either their home location or another location near where the event is occurring. The user's Twitter location and corresponding tweets can be made from a desktop or mobile phone, therefore introducing an element of true location uncertainty. The impact of this assumption is minimal, since the tweet is assumed to be a reliable form of what is happening, regardless of whether the user is at home or another physical location nearby. Only tweets with geotagged coordinates of Caracas, Venezuela, and each of the city's municipalities, in accordance with Tobler's first law of geography, which states that near things are more related than distant things. Even though there are probably other tweets about the food shortages from other cities in Venezuela and around the world during this time, Twitter users in Caracas have more of an interest in the event than an observer further away. In order to determine the search criteria for each municipality, the distances from the center of Caracas to that municipality were measured. The municipality of Baruta is 5.4 kilometers south, Chacao is 2.9 kilometers northeast, Hatillo is 6.3 kilometers southeast, Libertador is 5.7 kilometers northwest, and Sucre is 5.8 kilometers east. Therefore, the radius for geotagged tweets was set to 6 kilometers for Baruta, 3 kilometers for Chacao, and 6 kilometers for Hatillo, Libertador, and Sucre. Now that we've taken a look at the data extraction methods and why this research is important, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture of social media use. At the time of this research, there were approximately 17.5 million people that use the internet in Venezuela. Of those internet users, about 28%, or about 4.95 million people, were Twitter users. Caracas, Venezuela has a population of 5.5 million. Even though we don't know the exact number of Caracas Twitter users, we know that there are on average 20,000 monthly tweets geocoded with the Caracas latitude and longitude. During the period studied, there were 1.32 million tweets about all topics. Since there were 37,000 tweets about food shortages, about 35% of all tweets from Caracas during some of this time period were about the food shortages event. Text-centered data mining and no subject matter expert was available, search terms were developed using phrase filtering in a method similar to PECA. A manual search of the most read traditional media sources from 2013 to 2016 yielded 38 initial words. 35 words from the search were not included because they would have had a high signal-to-noise ratio or would have duplicated results. Words like pan, bread, leche, milk, and aceite, oil, were so common that it would be nearly impossible to conclude with certainty if they were related to the food shortages or were being used to describe something else. Additionally, searching inseguridad de alimentos, food insecurity, would have duplicated results from searching the term alimentos, food, so only the term alimentos was kept. Final search terms included escasez, scarcity, alimentos, foods, hambre, hunger, and the three most popular hashtags reported at the beginning of the shortages in 2013 by traditional media outlets. These hashtags were anaqueles vacios in Venezuela, empty shelves in Venezuela, nos cayó la dieta Maduro, we have fallen on Maduro's diet, and Venezuela tiene hambre, Venezuela is hungry. After searching for the term nos cayó la dieta de Maduro in 2 different municipalities for more than 10 days with no results, this term was removed. Each tweet in the corpus was pre-processed using the NLTK scikit-learn library in Python and common natural language processing techniques. Punctuation, hashtags, abbreviations, pictures, URLs, emojis, and extra white space were removed in the processed text. The Snowball Stimmer Python package was used to remove standard suffixes from this text corpus, remove Spanish accents, and remove 100 of the most popular stop words. Capital words were changed to lowercase, words were tokenized so that the string of characters was split into separate words, all misspellings were replaced with the correct word spelling, all abbreviations were left in their original form. Taking a look at the original tweet, the English translation, and the processed tweet, we see all of these natural language processing techniques were applied for the next step of applying the machine learning algorithms. Supervised machine learning models were used to test the hypothesis of whether tweet keywords are linked to a particular municipality within a 10-kilometer radius of a city. A Spanish corpus, CESS-ESP, consisting of about 17,000 annotated sentences, was used to automatically annotate the data. An 80-20 training and test data split and a cross-validation of 10 was used. From the 37,000 tweets, there are a total of 2,800 labeled data points with the predicted output feature of municipality. The largest category is the Chacao municipality with 900 labeled tweets. Therefore, a baseline classifier would have an accuracy of 900 divided by 2833, or about 0.318. The random forest accuracy is 0.348 with a log loss of 1.5 and a 9% improvement over the baseline. Multinomial naive Bayes has a higher accuracy of 0.383 and is a 20% improvement, but has a worse log loss than the random forest. Decision tree has an even higher accuracy and higher percent improvement, but a worse log loss than the previous two models. K-nearest neighbor and logistic regression models appear to be the best overall performing models. Since all of the models perform better than the baseline classifier by at least 16%, a reasonable conclusion is that words used in a tweet in Caracas may be signals of their municipality location within a 10. Now that we've talked about the machine learning results, let's look at the tweet volume each month. In January 2015, there were 632 tweets, or about 22.3% of all tweets. The volume of tweets continues to drop each month, which follows a typical trend in decreasing volume as the event continues over time. The significance of the food shortage event to the Caracas culture is represented by the sustained interest in the topic by social media users for at least the first 5 months of the period from December 2014 to April 2015. After April 2015, the percentage of monthly tweets about the food shortages event drops to less than 1%. In addition to looking at search terms from December 2014 to October 2016, trending patterns for the city of Caracas were extracted at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, July 19, 2017, for comparison purposes. The most popular search term on this day was hashtag Trump Venezuela se respeta, or hashtag Trump respect Venezuela. This Twitter hashtag, like many others, is loaded with political implications and may refer to the U.S. President's public statements preceding Venezuela's historic July 30, 2017 vote. This hashtag may also have implication about the Venezuelan government, which would include its response to the food shortages. The reason this phrase is trending is unknown and beyond the scope of the analysis. Since the government controls the food supply in Venezuela, it is not unreasonable to infer the shortages event and the top trending tweet subject are at least tangentially related to one another. Further study would be needed to understand this potential relationship. It is interesting the volume of tweets in one day from Caracas with the hashtag Trump Venezuela se respeta hashtag is 23,011. The high volume may be because the sample was taken just days before the July 30th vote. The top trending tweet hashtag in one day is almost as high as the volume of tweets from the entire food shortage event in the 23 months studied. Let's return to the original hypothesis, which said that certain words are particular to a municipality within a 10-kilometer radius. Machine learning models were used to test this hypothesis. The improved accuracies of the models over the baseline are an important step in understanding location-indicative words in a municipality. There may also be a relationship between the food shortages event and the top trending tweet 9 months later, although more research would be needed to support this hypothesis. I would like to thank Vincent Malik of Indiana University for providing invaluable coding advice during one of my first graduate school courses. I would also like to thank the authors of the open source GOT3, Snowball Stemmer, and Tweepy Python libraries. Feel free to take a look at my GitHub project page for a list of resources mentioned in the presentation and paper. You can also contact me if you have further questions. Thanks so much.